In this video, we're going to make Chinese scallion pancakes. So get started by adding 2 cups of all-purpose flour to a Cuisinart food processor. Hit it with pulse a few times until you get a really nice fine texture of the flour. Meanwhile, we want to be boiling some water in a kettle. And then we want to start to pour it in a steady stream as slow as possible. The flour is going to start to ball up eventually and kind of run around the blade and on the top. So we can see that ball starting to form now, riding around the top of the blade. I wanted a little bit more water so that the texture of the dough was a little bit wetter and it'd be easier to work with, so I add just a touch more. So take your dough out of the mixer onto a lightly floured work surface and start to kind of ball it up. This dough is a pretty nice soft and supple dough, so we don't want to overwork it too much, just enough to get it into the shape we want. Transfer your dough into a small to medium bowl, and then we're going to cover it with cling wrap or a wet towel for about 30 minutes to rest. So while that rests, we're going to prep our sesame paste, which we're going to apply onto our scallion pancakes as we're rolling them out. So add about 1/4 cup of sesame oil and 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, then mix it until it looks a bit like caramel. Prep some minced scallions. You could do this in any way you want to, thinly slice on the diagonal or just regular like I'm doing here. I'm including the whites of the scallions because I want a little bit more punch in the dip, but you can leave these out if you don't want the sauce to have as much bite. You should end up with about 1 cup since we're going to use some of these in the sauce and then some of them inside the actual pancake. Transfer your scallions into another small mixing bowl, then add some light soy sauce, followed with rice vinegar, just a splash of water, some sesame oil, and 1 scant spoonful of sugar. I'm going to add an optional spoonful of chili crisp here for a little bit more depth of flavor. Then we're just going to stir that to combine and set it aside. I'm going to start working with our dough. Slam your dough onto the counter, get your sesame paste ready. Divide the dough into 4 equal pieces after you flour your workspace with a bench scraper or a knife. I didn't roll out the other portions into a ball shape after I cut these, but I would recommend you do that. It's going to make it much easier to roll it out into a perfect circle. So take your rolling pin and start to roll out the dough into a circle. We're aiming for about 1/4 inch as the final thickness, but we do need to be careful about rolling it too thin because that can lead to holes in the dough. Now that we've got the thinness we want, we're going to start to apply our sesame paste. Make sure that you give this a nice spin because the flour is going to be settled at the bottom. A word of caution on applying too much of this. We're going to end up rolling this into a thin roll-up in a second, so you don't want to put too much liquid into the center, or what will happen is you'll end up with a big sticky mess as the liquid seeps out at the end of the roll. Just like that. But if you get in this spot, you can always just bench scrape the extra liquid away and add a bit more flour. So once you have your roll, take it from one end, pinch the dough together, and then start to roll it into a cinnamon roll shape. And once you get towards the end, pinch the last piece of the dough together too, so that none of the liquid will come out when we go ahead and roll it out again. During the second rollout, as you get into the thinner layers where some of that paste is, you might have a little bit of seepage. If you do, just add some flour until there isn't any stickiness and you can continue to roll it out into a thinner piece. Once we get into our desired thinness, we're gonna get our scallion marinade / dip out and get some of the scallions out with as little moisture as possible for the same reasons that we talked about earlier, and then spread them out into a even layer. Now we're going to repeat the same process we just did, except with the scallions in the center. This is going to add all the scallions into the middle of the pancake, and then when we roll it out again, we'll get a nice even distribution. Because of the spiral pattern that we've done to roll up and then roll out again, you might end up with some holes. If you do, you can sort of plug them by pinching them with your hands, But if you can't save them, it's no big deal. It's not really going to change the quality of the pancake at all. Gently peel it off your work surface and put it straight into a nonstick pan with some cooking oil on high heat. You should wait until it's smoking until you add it to the pan. We're going to let it cook on the first side for about 2 minutes until it has tiny kind of brown or black spots. Some people call this leoparding. Then we're going to give it a flip and finish the cook. When you do flip it, do it decisively so that you don't end up with a half-broken pancake. Once the other side is cooked, we're ready to plate with our sauce. And that's it. Thanks for watching and see you guys next time.